Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Just had some thoughts here while I was driving home from this rifle match today. So many Yogi Bhajan followers say that, oh, so what? We do this yoga. What's the harm in it? My thought is today about this is that the yoga is a man-made thing. And with all man-made things, there is a danger, especially with something that people put their life into and their energy into, like the yoga. Now, addressing this question of the harm yoga does, specifically, from my experience, when I was in 3HO, I saw so many, including myself, who got involved in illegal activities, deceitful things, fraudulent things, because of this Shiv Shakti yoga that Yogi Bhajan taught. And what it does, what the yoga does, is it corrupts your energy. It corrupts your spirit, in essence, and puts you in this frame of mind or spiritual state where you become like an egomaniac in a sense. It fires you up. It creates this tantric energy, Shakti power, as Yogi Bhajan used to call it. And you become more interested in egomaniac type of endeavors, basically. So whenever these 3HO people or these Yogi Bhajan people say that the yoga doesn't do any harm, it's just exercise, that is the biggest lie there ever was. Because these yogas that Yogi Bhajan taught, first of all, have no lineage, have no history with any other type of yogas. They were just made up by this customs officer, Yogi Bhajan, who decided that he wanted to market something that would give Westerners this sexual energy, and they even advertised it that way when back in the 70s when they first wanted to get people hooked on it. These yogas hook people in, and it's a gateway into these Shiv Shakti practices, which makes the person deceitful, it makes them manipulative and power hungry. Now, there was a really good story that I will always remember about when I first learned about how bad and corrupted Yogi Bhajan's yoga was. There was a Sikh and a yogi walking in the desert. So they were very thirsty, of course, and they came across a well, but the water was way down in the well, and it was hard to get to. So the yogi said right away, oh, I'll just change myself into a bird, and I'll fly down there and I'll get the water. So he's a very clever yogi. So he changed himself into the bird, flew down in there, and of course the wind buffeted him around, and he drowned down there in the well. So then the Sikh sat down very calmly, prayed to God, and then eventually it rained. And of course the Sikh was able to drink. Now this story really epitomizes, I think, the difference between a Sikh and these yogis who think they control things, that they want to control things with their, quote, powers and their man-made yogas. The Sikh only devotes themselves to God and wants God's will. The Sikh is devotional service. That's the Sikhi way. Devotional service to God and chanting God's name. This is essence, the difference between a Sikh and Yogi Bhajan's Bhajanites. So, again, yoga is not this harmless thing that Yogi Bhajan followers want you to think. It's a way that they get you into their cult. It's indoctrination into their cult. Through all of these heavy exercises and breathing, they will induct you into this cult, gets you into a hypnotic state, in essence. And I can say that I went through this type of thing. I felt super energized. I felt on top of everything, and just my ego was so inflated when I was in Yogi Bhajan's group that I couldn't control it. That was the bottom line. And once you get into that stuff, it's very, very difficult to get out. It took me, by the grace of God and Guru, that I was able to get out. I couldn't have done it myself. Guru led me to Sikhs. Guru led me to read this book, Sikhism and Tantric Yoga, which really told the truth about Yogi Bhajan's false yoga and his, I think, his real desire to destroy Sikhi, to destroy it and to subsume it into these Hindu vata, it's called, these deceitful practices of the Hindu vata, these Brahmetical practices that Guru Nanak actively stood up against. And eventually Guru Nanak won over the yogis. He brought the yogis into a debate, and he won victory over the yogis. And the yogis, they said to Guru Nanak, you know the way to God. And so they gave up their yogas. So next time the Yogi Bhajan people approach you about doing yoga, tell them that this yoga is much more deceitful than they are letting on. That it is not part of the Sikh tradition. It is not part of traditional Sikhs practices. If it was, then the gurus would have put it in the Nitnam. They would have had us doing yoga in the morning about that, but they don't. There's not a word about it. And Yogi Bhajan lied when he said that he had this vision from Guru Ram Das. What a bunch of bull. Yogi Bhajan tried to pull over us that he had some secret information from Guru Ram Das that was going to lead all of these Westerns into the new age of Aquarius. That was Yogi Bhajan's narrative, his prachar, if you will. And all he wanted to do was just really destroy traditional Sikhi. Now, I think that Yogi Bhajan had this agenda all along. Let's look at his history. His mother was Hindu. He practiced all of these yogas with these supposed yoga teachers, but it was really just this yoga teacher down in Delhi that he practiced with. He made up a lot of these other people, and he made up his own thing that he could subsume Sikhi into the Hindu tradition. Yogi Bhajan did pujas. We've got pictures of him doing pujas at this Brahmatni Kirtan ashram there, and with him, his wife, and his son-in-law, and his daughter, all with these Eye of Shiva, and doing these pujas with this Swami. They call him Swamiji, the one there at Brahmatni Kirtan ashram. And then I just found these pictures of the Yogi Bhajan being given Hindu last rites at the Brahmatni Kirtan ashram. Now, Yogi Bhajan was so controlling during his lifetime that I think he definitely had a hand in this. I'm sure that BBG, his wife, would have never done these Hindu last rites if Yogi Bhajan hadn't specifically instructed her to do this before he died. And this tells so much about somebody, that if they, whatever religion they are, to ask and request that they have their ashes put in the Ganges River, or to have their last rites done by a Hindu Swami, this tells so much about what their true agenda, what their true religion was. And I strongly believe that Yogi Bhajan was really a Hindu at heart, and he didn't want anybody to know this. He certainly didn't want the Sikhs to know that. But he wanted to use the good name of Sikhi. He wanted to subsume Sikhi into his form of this Bhajanism, sort of a Hindu religion. So, again, don't just be fooled by SikhNet and these other Yogi Bhajan followers when they tell you, oh, yoga is harmless, it just helps you do Simran, whatever. This is baloney. And if you want exercise, if you want to improve your physical health, go out and walk, go out and run, go out and do calisthenics, anything. But these Hindu yogas are giving salutations to Shiva. They're giving respect for the Hindu god Shiva, which the Hindus believe is the Lord of yoga. There are many Hindu swamis that will tell you, they'll say, Hinduism is yoga and yoga is Hinduism. And they want Sikhs to be subsumed into Hinduism. They love this when these 3HOers do these pujas and all of these Hindu ceremonies there in Rishikesh. And then they post all this stuff on the internet and they show, oh yeah, we're all one, we're all part of the one spiritual movement, all like that. But it's not true. They're trying to take away the traditional Sikhs' values and principles. Thank you for your time. Sat-Kaur Khalsa, Siri Singh Sahib.